I'm not a parent, but I do have nephews, and I noticed a lot of the time how a kid behaves directly correlates with how their parents teach them at home. Me and my siblings, we grew up in a very loud, chaotic household. And being Hakka ourselves, oof, any one of you who are Hakka or you know anyone who's a Hakka, you know what I'm talking about. We're really straight to the point kind of people. When we're talking among ourselves, like me and my sibling, or with my mom, or with my dad, people always thought that we were fighting because the language itself sounds kind of rough around the edges. It's not a very soft or gentle kind of language. Anyway, I digress a bit. So, be it as it may, even though we are loud and we are very straight to the point, we don't mince our words, whenever we're out, we behave ourselves because my dad makes sure that we do. Of course, he rules with an iron fist kind of way, but still, yeah, we behave. We're disciplined because if we don't, he makes sure that we remember to. It's either we get the rotan or we just don't get to go out anymore. He'll be like, if you don't behave yourself, if you embarrass me in public, we're never going to bring you out ever again until you learn to behave yourself in public. I'm not promoting parents to rotan their kids or punish them in any way that will traumatize them in the future. Because admittedly, we're all messed up. And we are all learning to self-heal, which is a lot of work. Okay? I'm getting to a point. Okay? So just bear with me. Earlier I mentioned I have nephews. So my sister is a mother of 3 boys. They are 3 years apart. And most of the time, she's bringing them up alone because the husband works a lot. Most of the time, she needs to handle everything by herself, which is very, very admirable. And it's not an easy feat. And being brought up the way that we were all short-tempered. We were loud. We have no problem expressing our anger. Trust me. And my sister, whew, she's a formidable force. You don't want to mess with her. And one would think that in order to discipline her kids, she needs to be loud, she needs to be fierce all the time, inflict fear into them. Well, you're wrong. Her boys are the sweetest and most well-behaved kids that I've ever seen. I'm not being biased here. I'm just telling you what I see. They're soft-spoken because their parents do not talk loudly in front of the kids. They don't talk loudly behind the kids. They don't argue in front of the kids. Children copy what they see from their surrounding. They're like sponges. They absorb whatever it is that's around them and behave as such. I remember one time, me and my parents went to visit, and me and my dad were just talking at the dining table, and my eldest nephew, who was probably around maybe 5 or 6 years old then, us being us, we were loud. We talked loudly. And you know what he did? He was just sitting there calmly. I think he was eating his breakfast or lunch. And without looking up, he just calmly asked us, Kung Kung, why are you arguing with Yi? We were dumbstruck. Oh, you should have seen our faces. We were like, huh? Looking at each other, like, what? And then we realized it was probably because he didn't understand us. We were talking in Hakka. He speaks English in his house, so he thought we were fighting, and oh, we were red in our faces, and then my dad was like laughing and trying to explain to him, "Oh no, we're not fighting. We're just talking. We're discussing." And then he went like, "Then why are you so loud? Why are you shouting?" Oh, we were schooled by a 6-year-old. I'm not trying to shame any parents. I'm just sharing what I see, that it's possible. We just need to put in the effort. Of course, kids being kids, especially if they haven't developed the skills to communicate their needs or their frustrations, they're gonna be rowdy. They're gonna be crying a lot of the time. I remember one time while I was visiting, me and my sister, we went for very late breakfast together with her then 2-year-old, her youngest. And this was after us waking super early in the morning, prepping the kids, making the breakfast, lunch boxes, and driving them to school, the whole lot. And when we were at the kopitiam, her 2-year-old was crying very, very loudly. And I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do. I tried to console him. I didn't know what he wanted. And my sister was just calmly eating her meal. Like, she was completely out of it. She just like, I don't know, zone out. And it was only after several attempts by me telling her like, your kid's crying and I really, really don't know what to do because I have no idea what he wants. I don't know how to help you. And he was super loud. And I'm starting to get embarrassed. And she just snapped out of it and she looked at me with a blank stare. And she was like, "Huh? He was crying? I didn't realize that." Even though my sister, I really commend her for bringing up these wonderful boys, we're not perfect. No one is. So she admitted to me that sometimes she's just too tired and she kind of drowned everything out. And it's not that she doesn't want to take care of her crying kid. It's because she's zoned out. She couldn't hear anything. I was there for a week or 2 weeks max. And I couldn't take it. 3 kids running around the house, chasing after them to eat, to change, to bathe. Wow. And not to mention homework. I couldn't take it. I don't know how she does it. Yeah, it's tough being a parent. It's not easy. And people make mistakes. But the most important thing is to own up to the mistakes and we learn from it. People can be empathetic. We can be understanding, but not when you're entitled just because you have kids.